Hey everybody! In today's video, I am going to do fun comic style cards with comic shading. This is using a product that I went and looked on my blog. The last time I blogged it was in 2009, 11 years ago. Crazy. But I remembered it when I saw this adorable little back to school themed stamp set from my friend Tiffany, and I thought that the comic book look would be so perfect for these little characters. They're just adorable. Their faces are really much bigger than their bodies, so they're easy to color. And then I'm using my alcohol fine liners to color their much smaller details on their clothing. This is why I love these fine liners. I know I keep raving about them, but they're great. I could never get this kind of precision with a brush tip, so it's very exciting for me. I do have a coupon code for these on my blog. It'll be next to the link in the video description. You can get almost everything I'm using today for 15% off with that coupon code. The only exception would be the paper background that I'm using. So I'm shading his little jeans. These remind me of some jeans I had in the 80s. So sort of like that stonewash, acid wash jean that was so popular back then. So I decided to make them a little bit lighter with some darker shading to get that fun 80s look. I did most of the coloring before the video because I thought it would just be kind of repetitive, but these are very, very fun to color, especially their faces and their hair, because you have so much room to do shading. And I tried to make all three of them look really different. I did coordinate their clothing colors across all three of the cards since it's sort of a little set. But also my sort of go-to comic colors are these colors, just yellow and a bright red and blue. So there's something just classic about those colors for cartoons. Now here is the fun halftone screen that I first blogged about in 2009. These add that comic texture that you used to see in comic books and newspaper comics, but also manga illustrators use these to create shading and drama in their illustrations. And that's the industry they come from, but they look so great with stamped images. Now, I chose a really fine dot pattern for this that's more similar to what you would see in newspapers, but there are a bunch of different fun patterns of these screens, and I'm going to show you another one in this video that I just love. Now, they have some cool features, too. You can color on top of them. That's typically what manga illustrators do. You can transfer them in various ways. Here, I'm just showing you the sharp end of my bone folder that has that nice angled straight edge. And then an embosser, a metal embosser to help you get into the smaller areas of the image with the transfer pattern. So I sort of go back and forth between the two, and I'm transferring dots all over this image. On the image of the little girl in the yellow dress, I did not put dots over her hair. So I just kind of experimented with how I wanted the shading to look. But to me, this looks just like the Sunday comics from my childhood. And I think it's so much fun. I've always loved comic looking or superhero looking style cards. I used Starving Artist stamps for the old one that I did in 2009, and it's still one of my favorite cards that I've ever made. So now I'll just speed this up because this is a little bit repetitive, me doing all three of these, but I'm just checking to make sure that I'm getting in all the details. Now you'll want to move to a separate section each time because once the dots are transferred, they're transferred. There's nothing left on that sheet. And so I'll move around the sheet and just be as efficient as you can. But these are very inexpensive and all the different patterns are so much fun. So I will finish up with this cute little girl. I had so much fun coloring her bag with those fine liners. But now they're all shaded and ready to go, and I'm going to create the backdrop for the little boy with another one of these screens. This is kind of a grungy brick pattern. I just love it. And there is a tissue sheet that comes with each one. You'll want to keep that with the screens when you're storing them, just so you don't accidentally transfer some off onto something else. Now, when you go to tape down the card front or the die cut onto the sheet, that tape will pull a little of that pattern off the sheet. They're designed to transfer easily, so you will lose a little bit if you choose to tape it like I've done. Now, I'm not going to cover the entire card front with this pattern. I just want a little section of wall behind him because I think that'll look so cute. And then I'm going to show you how to remove any extra. So if you go outside the lines with your dot pattern, manga illustrators sometimes will cut the sheet in the shape of what they're doing to make sure they don't do that. But it's actually very easy to remove if you make a mistake. So I will show you that here in a second. I'm just burnishing this really well to make sure that it's transferring the way I like it. And you'll be able to see because the top sheet will become clear, as you can see when I'm lifting that up there. Now see how there's a little bit floating top right? You can remove that extremely easily with the fine liner or the brush tip of the colorless blender that's in the set. So these two products were designed to work together. And so if I just scribble it, I can just wipe it off and it's gone. Otherwise, it's transferred very securely everywhere else. And so here are my little comic kids going back to school like little superheroes. So cute. You can see the pattern a little bit better here. So much fun. Really looks like the newspaper. And then the little brick pattern in the background. And finally, my cute little girl in the red dress. So head over to my blog today for more information. Use the coupon code in the description. And thanks so much for watching.